The heart. Let's zoom in just a little. God Almighty has created us all pure, clean, innocent. As the Prophet Muhammad, he tells us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that every child, كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. Every child that is born on what's known as the fitrah, which means the natural disposition, pure, innocent. It is only then that your surroundings, they change you. They make you in that religion or no religion, or make you adopt this or adopt that. It is your surroundings that change. But in essence, we are born pure. We are not born sinful. We are born pure. And it is this purity that we have to try to preserve, because life will take us in different directions. Our desires will take us in different directions. Our thoughts and our mind will take us in different directions. But we've got to stay focused. We've got to keep ourselves pure and clean. As Allah Almighty tells us, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. That on that day, when we will have to be accountable for our lives, your wealth is not going to avail you. Your children are not going to come and be able to help you. The only thing that's going to be able to help you on that day is if you've got a good, sound, clean, and pure heart. That is why it's so important that at the beginning of these reminders and these series, that we really look inwards. Look at that which is inside of us. You know, it's an interesting story. And our teachers tell us this, that, you know, whatever is inside here, if the heart is pure, you'll find that the eyes, the ears, and the mind will think of pure and good thoughts. If the mind is corrupt, so if the heart is corrupt, you'll find that a person's thoughts, what they see, what they hear, will also be corrupt. I'll give you an example, a little story. There was a man who was on his way to pray the morning prayer, the Fajr prayer, early in the morning. So he walks to the mosque, he does his prayer, and he comes back. As he's walking back now, he looks over to the other side of the road and he sees another man walking as well. That man has just come back, spending the night in the nightclub, enjoying himself, doing what you do in a nightclub. But the difference is this. The man who came out from the mosque, when he saw that man across the road, he said to himself, wow, what a good brother. Maybe he's also come out from the mosque and he's just prayed Fajr. But the guy on the other side of the road, when he looked across and he saw that guy walking down the road, he said, oh my God, even he's been clubbing and dancing and partying all night just like me. Why am I telling you that story? Because, dear listeners, whatever's sitting in here will reflect everywhere else. What you see, what you hear, what you understand, how you absorb information, it will all be dissected through that lens. And that is why it's so important that we give that time and effort to purify our hearts, to cleanse our hearts, and to keep our hearts as pure as possible. Because life, challenges, people, they will contaminate it. And the more contaminated it gets, the further it goes away from the right path, the pure path, al-mustaqim. The heart could be alive and pure, or the heart could be diseased or dead. And you may ask the question, what am I like? What is my state? What is the state of my heart? I'll give you a little test. And this is really coming from the Quran. You want to test how pure your heart is? You want to test how good your heart is? Allah Almighty tells in the Quran, إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم وإذا تليت عليهم آياته زادتهم إيمانا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. Short ayah, but I swear to you it is the best litmus test to see where your heart is. In this, God Almighty Allah says, إنما المؤمنون, the real believers. Who are they? They are the ones, إذا ذكر الله, if Allah's name is mentioned, wajilat qulubuhum, that their hearts begin to waver and shake. They don't carry on doing what they're doing, they stop in their tracks and they think, wow, what does God want from me? What is Allah's name is being mentioned here? وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ, and when they hear the verses of the Quran being recited, they hear the Quran being recited in the prayer, at home, wherever it is, what happens? زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا, that their faith increases. Tears start to flow down their cheeks. They stop in their tracks. They reflect upon life. They benefit from what they're hearing and what they're listening. It makes an impact in their life. And the final thing in the verse, God Almighty says, وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ, that they are the ones who depend and are attached to Allah only. Their needs, their wants are fully with God Almighty. They're not concerned with people. They're not concerned with who's going to help them. They know that their affairs, their rizq, their livelihood is all in the hands of Allah. That's the test. Where do you stand?